Hello, gay men, and Happy New Year. Welcome to Coming Inside Out. I am John.
I'm Brian.
Hey,
Happy New Year, John.
Happy New Year, Brian. Happy New Year, listeners.
Yes.
You all had a good one.
Yes, this is season 2.
Yes.
We were talking about this earlier. We successfully completed 37 episodes for season 1 without missing a beat.
Thank you,
2,
listeners.
Episode 1.
We are so excited, guys. We had a little production meeting before today's episode, and I have to say, this is probably one of my first production meetings that we had. We've had a little before, but nothing like that. And it's really exciting because, first of all, from both of us, we want to thank all of our listeners because this was a concept, a thought at dinner over a year ago. And Brian comes to me, we talk about it, and my goodness, look how far we've come.
Yeah, it's close to 25,000 downloads. 37, a trailer and 36 episodes starting in May of 2024. So yeah.
So this has been exciting. So again, everyone that has written in, called in, emailed, texted, pigeoned, whatever, however you got us a message, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Yes.
And with that, we're looking for an intern. We're ready to launch this into 2.0.
Yeah, we are. So this is our second season, starting our second season for 2025. And yes, from our production meeting, we're looking for an intern, somebody that is just, starting out into the entertainment business, but in all these new, what's the young generation called now?
I don't know.
It's before millennials, right? What is it? The Gen Z? Is that the? Well, anyway, Gen Z, millennials. If you know anyone that is wanting to learn more about podcasts or know about marketing, write us in, tell us, let us know. Again, we're in LA. We're both realtors. And again, we can't bring you this podcast without plugging our company. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, please refer business to us. And then also anywhere. I'm actually closing a property in the Dominican Republic right now.
Oh, dang. Good for you.
Yeah, we closed this coming Tuesday. Well, when this drops, it'll be closed. And so, I worked on that a year, but we're able to refer business as well. So again, a little plug for our company. Anything you want to, I think for both of us, right?
I want to jump into the holiday. You were in Texas with your family.
I did. I went to Texas. Me and the boys, we went over there for New Year's. So we were in LA for Christmas, and then we went over to New Year's. And my brother, and he has 4 children, and the oldest, the oldest, he's my godson. Blake and his wife have been listening to our podcast, right? And they were talking about it again. But my other nephew, he was doing improv. So he had a show Friday night, the day we were flying into Houston. So I told my brother, I said, get us hotels. We'll stay with you guys. And you know what? We grew up poor. We grew up very poor. We never took vacations as a family. It was never done. And now that my brother is making money and a good living, and I'm making a good living, we were not conditioned to have family vacations together. And this was just a miniature vacation, but it was his wife. She's so sweet. Amy is great. And the kids are great and they're growing up. But what I loved seeing were the boys interacting with their cousins.
Okay. Now, does your wife go with you back to Texas?
No,
she stays here.
No. Okay. And again, we'll clear that up.
All right.
We served each other our divorce papers in December. Merry Christmas. And that's starting to go. So I'm going to definitely share with you and our listeners how things are going. But, we did it in a way that we didn't pay for a server to come and serve you or anything like that. We both are trying to do this amicably. And so we both filled out information, but I had a service company served because she sent to me, and then I had to respond to that. You have 30 days to respond to it. And I did respond, but I had a company do that for me. It was like $1,000 to do it, which is not cheap, but I like that company and they can do some other things as well. but yeah, we served each other. But no, she was here. Her mother came in from New York because they're from New York, and we went to Liam's game and had a good time. And I drove. So my mother-in-law. I mean, we all had Christmas Eve together. We had Christmas Day together as well, and then me and the boys went to Houston. We went to Houston and then to Beaumont, and stayed with my brother, and then stayed with my mom. Now, my mom is 87 years old.
Okay. Close in age to my parents.
Yeah. And, I came out to my mother, maybe 6 to 7 years ago. And, we don't talk about it every time, we just don't talk about, that. But we kind of did this time. It's really interesting. So I told my mom about the podcast. She was, "Oh my God, that's so great." And I told her what we were talking about and trying to, she goes, "Honey, I think that is so good. It's so good that, and I'm sure you're helping other people." And again, that was our production um, meeting today was, what is our why? What is our why with this podcast? And the why with the podcast is to help people like us and pave the way, because we've had so many people before us pave this way in the LGBTQ plus community. It has to continue to go. It has to continue to go. And I feel that we are a vessel for that.
Yeah, we get so many people writing in saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know this existed. I thought I was all alone." Similar as what we had said. I'm now thinking of coming out to my wife. I mean, we have a group of men that are all at different stages of deciding it's time for them to come out to their wives.
It's so interesting because when I was talking to my mother, and again, my mother, we started talking really serious about right when I should have left to go to the airport. So it was so, so I was delayed. We got to the airport okay, but I like getting there early. But we had a very long conversation, 45-minute conversation about that and about what we're going to be doing with my mother because she's, coming of age and what type of help, or if we're going to do independent living with her in any way. But we just started talking about the show and talking about my one-man show.
Yeah.
And so, she goes, "Well, honey, sing me something and, sing me a song." So I did, because my mother's always asking me to sing. And I always say, no, no, no. I'm like, "What the fuck, man? That's your mom.
Yeah.
Sing." And she goes, "Oh my God, honey, you got to be," my mom, she just loves me. She loves that I've been pursuing the acting forever. And she's always loved that. But anyway, I came out to her 6, 7 years ago. And when I came out to her, I told her, I said, "Mom," because she goes, "Well, maybe, can I tell?" I go, "Mother, you can tell whoever you want to." I didn't want to put it on her and give her a limitation of don't tell this, don't tell anyone, don't tell, because for me, this is for me and for listeners, you navigate it the way you want, but I want to share with you how I did this and how it came back, that I'm glad I did it that way. So when I told her, it was, she goes, "Well, maybe I could talk to Father or something." I said, "Yeah, you can talk to him. He's probably gay. He'll understand." But and she goes, "Well, I won't tell." I go, "Mother, yes, you can." I go, "You can tell anybody you want to, because why put that on me and on her? Because it's going to come out. And then am I going to resent my mom because she outed me? No, Mom, do it." I felt that comfortable. Now, a while back, I wouldn't. I've been scared to do it. Well, anyway, she tells me the story that I didn't even know about. But last summer, we all go in and we rented a beach house, and the whole family comes. And then my sister's ex-husband, who's my niece's father, I know it goes a long way. But anyway, he's no longer part of the family or whatever. But my mother told me the story because she goes, "Well, Robert, when I was out on the deck," he goes, "John's gay." I said, "Well, did he ask that in a question or was it a statement?"
Yeah. Was he trying to out you to somebody?
Well, exactly. She goes, "Well, honey, I don't know." And she goes, "I looked right at him. I said, 'Yes, I do.'" And I said, "Okay, was there anything else?" She goes, "No." I go, "Well, that's it." I go, "Well, was he curious? Was he empathetic? Was he just trying to throw something at you?" She goes, "Honey, I don't know the context of why he said it. But, and that was the first time her and I had talked about somebody saying something other than. But he's not part of our family anymore. In some ways, he is. He's my niece's father. I've always liked the guy, but and I don't want to start anything. I don't want to call him up. Hey, motherfucker, what was your point?
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the other thing. He's a psychiatrist.
Wow.
This motherfucker, he was an eye surgeon, a lawyer, and a psychiatrist. Very, and he actually, when my sister married him, he had money. So he brought that money element to us, which we never had. And he introduced us to a lot of different things in life, which I appreciate. But I was just curious, well, why? I don't remember.
Because potentially he could have just outed you to your own mother.
Exactly. And I didn't put that on me.
Yeah.
Because if I would have said, no, don't tell anybody. So at this point, I'm like, it's okay. And I'm not upset. But I am curious did he say it in a way for support or to stir up shit?
Yeah.
Or what? But you know what? It really doesn't matter. And you know what else? I can't remember if I came out to him or not. I think I did. I may have when we were, because I was talking to him as well. But it was very interesting.
Well,
so
you keep your power when you say, I'm coming out, and you can tell whoever you want to tell, because then there's no barrier.
Right.
It's going to come at you.
Right.
Blindside you with them knowing because you've let it be. Okay, tell whoever you want. I'm out. I'm gay. I'm happy. I'm proud.
Exactly. And when you're from a small town, there are people that that are very insecure with themselves. They don't have anything going on.
Yeah.
And they've got news. They got gossip. And I feel that there are people that some of my relatives, very close relatives, they use that to create a conversation.
They thrive on it.
They thrive on it. Absolutely. Yeah. They because they don't have shit going on.
Yes.
And this is some drama. So I share this with everyone because I think I was able to place myself in a position to protect myself and be able to be okay with it. And if you can get anything out of that, if you are coming out, if you coming out to your mom or to your father or to anybody, I think for me it was best that I didn't put a limitation. And you could say, hey, give me 6 months. I'm going to be coming out to other people. Whatever works for you.
Yes.
Whatever works for your situation.
Yeah.
So that was mine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So it was a good time.
Good.
And yours? Tell me about yours.
I was around my family, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Everything was good. On New Year's, I availed myself to my kids. If you guys need a ride, if your friends need a ride, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'll hang out at home and make myself available for a ride. When I came out during, COVID, there was nothing happening for New Year's. So I was home with my boys for New Year's. And then in December of 2022 for New Year's, I went to this crazy big party. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And had a great time. And then, the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm outside this big patio standing there with all of these people and Happy New Year. And it probably was 3 seconds, but it felt like 30 seconds. And I was standing there and just all of a sudden, Happy New Year. Everybody turns and they're kissing who they were there with. Right. And I was like, holy shit, I'm like standing here all by myself. Mm-hmm. So I turned around and I just found the bathroom and I, pretended to go to the bathroom and I came out and I went home and I was like, oh shit.
You didn't kiss yourself in the mirror?
No, I was like, oh shit, that was uncomfortable. I didn't, I just didn't anticipate that moment. And so last year I was kind of like the walking wounded a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to put myself in that position again. I don't want to go out if I don't have anybody to, to kiss at New Year's or whatever. And then this year I was like, you know what, Brian, do something. I, went to dinner, took my dog for a walk, and then availed myself to my kids. And I had a great New Year's, and it was just me and my dog. Yes.
You know what? And that's okay. And I've been to New Year's Eve parties by myself, and that had happened. And then, of course, your close friends come up to you after.
They give you a hug. I didn't wait.
They give you a hug.
I split, but
I I was watching Letterman, my next guest, or on Netflix. It's David Letterman. He has my next guest, and it's just interviews. And I watched the one with Miley Cyrus last night. Miley Cyrus is the singer, and she's talking. I think one of the songs she won the Grammy for Flowers. It's awesome song. I mean, it's a beautiful song because it talks about loving yourself and how you can love yourself. And in our book, the 369 book, it talks about before you go and love someone else, you need to love yourself.
Yes.
And oh my God, I love that song. I really do. And Miley, if you're out there listening, love you to come on this podcast. She's a big gay friendly fan.
There you go. I didn't know that. Well, hashtag her.
Well, we should hashtag her. Miley, I love you. You're amazing. And anyway, thank you for writing that song because it's an anthem. I think it's an anthem for. It doesn't matter who you are. You gotta love yourself.
Yes.
You know, and so that's why I said, did you kiss yourself in the mirror? Because after this podcast, I'm going to go make out with myself in the mirror and wish myself happy New Year because I didn't do it all for Miley. Thank you.
There you go. Well, listen, I want to start this podcast off with a bang. Season 2, episode 1.
Yes.
One of our listeners wrote in. I printed it out.
Oh.
I gave you the sheet there.
Okay. Well, speaking of bang being the key word.
Bang being the key word. In episode 29, if you go back and listen to it, we printed out the instructions on how to stimulate and milk your prostate.
Yeah.
And one of our listeners went ahead and did it. I still have not done it, but one of our listeners did. He wrote in, so I printed it out. I thought you could read that.
And I have, by the way, just so
Oh, I haven't. I haven't.
I have. It's awesome. It's awesome. You can call it ass play or whatever, but it's really cool. Here we go. He goes, hello again, Brian. Writing back in because I've been catching up with episodes. I do appreciate the advice from you guys and for reading my email discussion. Hopefully next year we shall see what it brings. The thing that got me to write back, though, was based across 2 episodes on the curiosity of prostate stimulation. You quick, funny chat had my interest, and I was half considering it. I kind of looked into it and found an interesting Reddit post that sold it further. I looked online, and there was an affordable massager that made me say, "What the heck?" I got it delivered, and again sat on what he said on sat on the thought. Oh, he sat on the thought a couple days. I thought he sat on it a couple days. I did give it a try at first, thinking that it isn't really working for me. I remember on the podcast you mentioned something like knee to chest and pointing toward the belly button. So not sure how different that would feel, but with the massager, it didn't do much for a little while until it starts to kick in and you feel your legs shake. If you keep sticking with it, it eventually, there's so much material here. If you keep sticking with it, it eventually takes it to a full body sensation. I didn't go all the way as to orgasm. What? Mostly due to time factor, but I should say, even though not at the end, it's still a heck of a pleasure. I definitely say give it a try and let us know. One other thing, thank you for sharing your story of your first time. Even if you didn't count it, it is still a great story that I am sure many relate to, that is especially difficult for them to try and experiment. They feel that they have to numb themselves. Thank you for writing in on this. Yes. Listen, I think, a lot of people call it ass play or what have you. And let me tell you, there is a lot in the straight community that does this.
All right.
I say a lot. I just hear people talking about it or women talking about the men, but I hear
never played with my ass before.
No.
But this is, I'm not meaning to interrupt you, but this is, I thought we would get you a glass of wine, we would put on some soft music, maybe light a candle, go back, find the instructions on finding and milking your prostate, and we'll do a video, an audio on it. like a sultry, sexual. You could use.
You talking about you and I do this?
No.
What are you talking about?
You read the instructions again in a very sensual way.
Okay.
Clean your. What was it? Cut your fingernail.
You gotta cut your finger.
Clean your butt.
Yeah. You gotta
Lay
do
on
it.
your side.
You. I mean, listen. It is, and there's porn that I've watched before, and let me tell you, I mean that is an erogenous.
Yes. It's your G spot.
It is your G spot. It is your G spot, and if you hit it right, man, it's sometimes you can
your legs shaking and the whole thing.
Your whole body shakes, and you can do this without even touching your.
Wow. All right. Well, we need more listeners to go back, listen to episode 29, and try the finding and stimulating your prostate and writing in and telling us about it.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? Well, that was a good one.
The second thing he talked about, I had shared several episodes, this is many episodes ago, my first time, and I don't know that you shared your first time, but my very first time, my wife and I were divorced. I got myself so drunk and stoned that I barely remembered my first time.
I see.
I had to completely get myself 100% out of sorts in order to even allow myself the experience.
Right.
And in doing so, I don't even barely remember the experience. So I didn't share that as my first time because I thought, oh my God, I was drunk and stoned and this and that. And it felt humiliating. But somebody told me that was also their first time. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not alone.
Well, no, you're not alone. And a lot of my experience has been where, going to the gay bars and let me tell you, when they pour a drink in a gay bar, you're getting your money's worth. You really do. You really do. They make them strong, at least the ones I've been to. But it's interesting because in the beginning, it was, getting the inhibitions down, drinking, and that's definitely what happens. But you have to be careful because if you get, too wasted, I mean, it could turn out to be a bad experience if you're picking someone up at the bar or what have you. And, but yeah, I mean.
Well, I went to his house. Remember, I told you I went to this guy's house, and I stayed out front. And
what was his name? Was it Jeffrey Dahmer? Was that his name?
Jeffrey Dahmer. I smoked pot and drank pre-made margarita mix in my car. The next thing I'm going to share with you, and this is on our YouTube page. If any of our listeners want to go on our YouTube page,
is that Tom?
We have a post. Somebody wrote into us. You and I joke about Bobby Ewing all the time.
Yeah, we did.
Patrick Duffy, the Speedo. One of our listeners remembers when he knew he was gay.
Oh, okay.
And he wrote in, and his name is Jim Palmer. He's a baseball player, and he did jockey ad commercials.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I remember him.
And so he wrote in that he remembered his aha moment was when he saw this ad, and he actually found it online. So I posted that on our YouTube page.
I like that.
But I also posted Bobby Ewing and his Speedo.
Okay.
But then Tom Selleck, someone sent this into us too. Do you ever remember Tom Selleck looking like that or having a Speedo on or just bathing?
No, but not. I mean, that's kind of an effeminate position too, that he's honking his hip up.
I don't know.
Is that really him, though?
That's him. It is him. It's from
look at his early 80s. Look at his face color and his.
It's him. If you're a listener and you want to go on our YouTube page, I posted the photos. But yeah, he wrote in Jim Palmer was his aha moment in his jockey underwear.
Yeah, mainly Jim Palmer, who was in many ads for them. The string bikini was. And the blew him
away, yeah. So there you go.
Oh my God, look at Pete Rose. Remember Pete Rose? He got busted for gambling. He was, I think, with the Reds or whoever they are.
Well, and I posted that ad on there. So if anybody wants to go and look at all the athletes in their jockey gear, you can go on and look at that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I like that you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So we have a new listener
Okay.
that reached out to me. I think it was through Instant Messenger. Anyways, and I put this on your thing too.
Okay.
He is polyamorous, which is you are not monogamous. You enjoy multiple partners.
Oh, yeah.
And he referred a book to us. I don't know if any of our listeners have read this book. It's called The Ethical Slut, a practical guide to polyamory, open relationships, and other adventures. The essential guide for singles and couples who want to explore polyamory in a way that are ethical and emotionally sustainable. So yeah, I haven't looked into that book. I thought I would buy it on behalf of the podcast, but I'm a monogamous person, so but I'm happy to do the research for the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I still lean to, and you're right. There are people that are monogamous, but I think the majority of the world is not.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not saying there's not people that, like I said.
Well, like for periods of time, you're monogamous. You don't have to be monogamous your entire life, but you could have a 5-10 year.
Oh yeah, you can have a spurt or a period of it. But when you look at statistics of divorce in the United States, I think right now we have topped over 50% of the marriages fail. And out of that 50%, what's the difference?
Adultery,
infidelity,
yeah.
And I just think, I don't know. I don't know. Are we wired to be monogamous? I think some are, some are not. When it comes into something like this, I think it's great. I mean, it throws a little spice into it.
Yeah, but everybody's in your life for a reason, and you are serving each other for a period of time under certain circumstances.
Exactly.
And when your circumstances change, so does your relationship. You're raising a family, and that's the circumstances keeping you together. There's a bunch of different reasons, but I think people grow apart when their circumstances change.
I agree with that.
Yes.
You got to be honest, and it's I lived a lie, and I wasn't honest. I wasn't truthful, not only to other people but to myself. And at this chapter in my life, I want to be an open book, and I think that's why I'm a little bit free to talk on here. It just gives me a venue here to be able to be honest. And who knows? Once I start dating, will there be a third person or whatever? I'm open to that.
Maybe, huh?
Well, but at least I want to communicate that to whoever I date.
Yeah.
And see where that goes. Because if, like me and you, if we were to go out, we're not a match.
No.
Not a match because we're different. But we know that. And that's part of your truth. And so, I just think.
Well, I think some people like to go out and just play. They just want to play. Yeah. I don't want to go out and play. I want to.
Well, speaking of playing, I mean, tell me about that naked game night you were talking about. I don't want to go play, but Ryan here just went to a naked game. What is it called? Game night?
Yes, they
with
called
5
it
dudes that were naked.
Big gay naked game night. Okay, listen, if it's a family member listening, you can turn this off and come back on in 5 minutes.
Who, your family?
Well, I know two of my family members listen. This is probably not family member. Listen, as much as it was R-rated, it was an innocent, or X-rated. It was an innocent X-rated.
All right, lay it on us. Tell us what.
So my neighbor has invited me to naked game night several times. I've declined. You last told me, threatened me. If you don't go, you better give me the invitation because I'm going.
Right. So, what did you do?
My neighbor reached out to me. It was this whole big, long dialogue back and forth. What was going to happen? What wasn't going to happen? The whole thing. And I was like, oh my God, I have not been, other than being in junior high school or high school and going through the locker room to get in the shower, I have not been naked in front of a group of people ever. I was naked in front of my wife.
Right.
And that was it. I'm not naked in front of other men.
Yeah.
So to go to somebody's house and be naked, was causing me a lot of anxiety.
Sure.
So I agreed to go under the, that it wasn't going to be a play party. It was just going to be.
You had parameters for yourself, but you also but see, that's also about being clear, being upfront.
Yes.
As you had mentioned to me earlier, that I made sure that this was not a hookup party, and I wanted to make sure. But I mean, you can make sure of that, but once you're in the moment, you're naked, you're hanging out with other guys. For this naked game night, you set the parameters with the host.
Yeah.
And the host and his
husband,
they do they play outside of their relationship? No, they do not.
No, not to my knowledge.
But again, look, Brian, I think this was huge for you. This was another growth for you, because if you know Brian, you've been listening for a while, this is huge for him. And you ended up doing it. I have to say, I'm very proud of you to go and do that and explore it. But I'm also glad that you set the parameters within yourself, but you also made it clear to the host.
Yes.
That, look, no monkey business.
Yes. And there wasn't monkey business. It was so, we had such a great time. He's like, okay, listen, we're going to wait for everybody to get here, and then you can slowly start taking your clothes off. I guess naked game night is a big thing. I've never heard of it before, but not everybody gets naked at every party. Some people will take everything off except their underwear or whatever. But it's like, you know what? We'll wait for everybody to get here, and then we'll just start shedding our clothes. And I said, well, let's everybody get there and play strip poker. I'll win, and then I'll be able to keep my clothes on.
That's what I used to do. We used to do strip poker this is with mixed, with men and women.
Okay.
In high school. Yes. We were playing strip poker, and it's just an easy way of getting people's clothes off and being comfortable.
Yeah.
But there's also challenging and winning and stuff. So you didn't do the poker.
No. We got there, and I mean, as soon as everybody was there, the two hosts were pretty much naked very quickly. They both have very nice bodies. They're in their 30s. They handed out, what did I call it? Butt towels? Okay, yeah, butt towels. So you could sit on whatever you wanted to sit on. We sat at their dining room table and played a dice game first, naked. And then they had this giant sectional. We all sat on this big giant sectional and played the Switch.
What's the Switch?
It's like a Xbox or a PlayStation, but it's called the Switch. And it was a game called Jackbox.
Okay.
And it's like a trivia game. It was fun. So it went from like 7 to midnight.
Oh, wow.
It was.
Did they serve food?
We had food. Yes, they had food.
Really?
Yeah.
So did you walk up? Did anybody's dick go into the soup or into the cheese dip?
No.
Okay.
I kept covering myself with my napkin, and one of the hosts kept removing my napkin from my lap.
I love that. Okay.
But yeah, I was just, I was naked in front of.
And so it was 5 of you total. So it was your 2 neighbors, yourself, and then these 2 other guys.
Yes, 2 other single gay men. Both friends of theirs.
Got it.
Both otters. Do you know what an otter is?
An otter is a step below a bear. I think that is hairy.
Has some hair, yeah.
Maybe not as thick as a bear.
Or petite.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know an otter.
Not tall men.
Yeah.
So, all right. Yeah.
Were they otters?
That's what the host had told me they were going to be, because I said, okay, does everybody have a body like yours? Because if everybody has a body like yours, I'm 55. I'm like 15 years older than them, and I'm like, I don't want to go there. We don't have the same bodies.
Right.
It's like, no. The other 2 guys are otters. Don't worry. And I'm like, I don't. That doesn't mean anything.
What are the hosts? What were they? They're not twinks.
No, one is 6'3". Very good looking.
Yeah.
Nice body. The other one is probably 5'10". Even nicer body.
Really?
6-pack and the whole shebang. But yeah.
Were there pictures taken or anything?
No pictures taken.
Did they have any video cameras in their home?
I have no idea. I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Well, you'll be seeing Brian on the internet with a naked game night with some video.
Let's hope not. My goodness.
Was this after the New Year? Or was
this is last night.
So look at you, already in 2025. You're already being a little slutty.
Yeah, I'm being a little, yeah.
I like that. Well, no, there's something new. It's kind of, we all have New Year's resolutions, of course, but there's also.
Well, mine wasn't to go to naked game.
No, it wasn't, but it was something different that you'd never done before. And again,
yes.
Would you do it again?
I don't think I would. I think it's a one and done.
Yeah. I got it. I get it.
I don't know. So you don't have to share this if you don't want to, but I don't sit around naked at my house. I don't walk around naked at my house. I'll walk around in my underwear.
Do you sleep naked?
I don't sleep naked.
I've been sleeping naked. I love that. But I always keep a pair of shorts next to my bed in case there's an earthquake and I got to get out and run.
All right.
But I really enjoy sleeping naked.
I'm not a germaphobe, but I did read several years ago how many times the average person farts in the night, and you, not to be disgusting, but something comes out every time you fart, and do you want to sleep in shitty sheets because you're naked? And I'm like, I don't.
But you're going to do that.
So I'm going to wear underwear. I wear underwear.
Underwear doesn't capture that. If you're still farting, it's going to filter.
It's a filter.
It's a filter, but it ain't going to catch everything.
All right. Well, that's why I.
But what I like to do is when I fart, I hold it, and then I just raise the sheets and I let it come down. I'm like, ooh, okay, that's a rough one. It's called a Dutch oven. You call it a Dutch oven. That's put someone underneath.
Yes, or you put the sheet over.
Wow. I kind of like doing the little parachute thing where I throw my sheets up a little bit and it comes down
and it airs it all out.
Then I grade the level of intensity of it.
Well, it depends on your diet too, huh?
Right. It really does. But you know what? It's just comfortable. It's very comfortable because when I see people with pajamas, I mean, I'm talking about the button-up pajamas like from the 1960s and 70s. How in the hell can you sleep like that?
How can you turn around?
Well, you can't. And then it's pulling on you. And I just don't want anything like that.
I sleep in my underwear.
Good for you.
All right. So,
well, I mean, again, I do sleep in my underwear too, but I've been noticing that I'm like, I like being, naked.
Well, there you go. Well, I don't know. So next time you get the invitation to naked game night.
Well, no, the next time you do, you say, oh, no, but my friends.
Maybe you're going to host a naked game night at your house. Yeah. All you need is like a couple board games.
Yeah.
And then
I bought a dartboard.
Well, do you want to play darts naked?
No, I don't want to play. My boys are loving the dartboard.
Are they? Oh my God.
They do.
We had a dartboard, but you knew exactly where the dartboard was when we took it down, when we moved, because every missed dart had a hole in the wall.
And that's the whole thing. I bought the dartboard because they do, they're gamers. They have their Xbox and they do that. But I tell you what, it's just so nice when I put it up. I gave it to them for Christmas. We put it up, and man, we had the best time of just being together, throwing the darts and talking. And that's one of my big things that I want with my boys is I've taught them how to play golf during the pandemic. No, we don't go and play as much, but we like going to Top Golf. But I love that. I just try to find things that we can do to talk. Yes, because it's very important.
Absolutely
very important. How are we on time?
I think we're at about 40 minutes.
All right.
I think this is a good episode, huh?
Yeah.
So again, season 2. Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.